A leaked draft opinion by the U.S. Supreme Court signaling the conservative-leaning panel is poised to overturn the right to abortion in that country as it continues to trigger discussion around the world. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is reaffirming his party's commitment to protecting women's reproductive rights here in Canada.
First of all, the freedom of a woman to choose belongs to her and her alone. In Canada, every woman has a right to a safe and legal abortion, and this government will never back down on defending and promoting women's rights in Canada and around the world.
And reaction continues to pour in following the leaked draft opinion that would overturn the landmark 1973 decision in Roe v. Wade. We're joined now by Carolyn Egan, spokesperson for the Ontario Coalition for Abortion Clinics. Carolyn, thank you so much for joining us. We have been reassured by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, as we just heard, that something like this is not going to happen in Canada. But what do you think the repercussions are here if this does go ahead in the United States? Will we be seeing women from the U.S. flocking across the border?
Well, yes, thank you very much for asking that question, because I think one hand, whenever there is a victory for those who are opposed to abortion in the United States, it has repercussions here because it gives momentum to those who want to ban all abortions. They will step up their activity, pressure on politicians, etc. I don't think we're going to see a situation where we're, on the brink of a disaster like they are seeing in the United States. But yes, I do think that there's certainly a possibility that U.S. women could come here, because I look back to the 1980s before the Morgenthaler decision at the Supreme Court in Ottawa. Many women who could not get access abortions in this country did go south. From Toronto, they went to Buffalo. From British Columbia, they went to the state of Washington. In the Atlantic provinces, they went to New England and were very graciously accepted and did have abortions done there. So this could, I don't know for sure, but a state like Michigan, for example, there's a trigger legislation just waiting to fall into place if indeed Roe v. Wade is overturned, and that would ban abortions. And people in the Detroit area, they could consider coming to Windsor. Now, this would not be going to hospitals. I think probably there would be clinical facilities set up to help them out, but I assume that could happen. We'll have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Carolyn, for American women who either don't live near a border crossing or just simply don't have the means to take a drive or take a flight, how concerned are you about this apparent inevitable decision of the overturning of Roe v. Wade?
We're tremendously concerned. I mean, having spoken to people in the U.S. Yesterday and today, the effects could be absolutely devastating. I mean, listening to a woman who operates the one abortion clinic in the state of Mississippi, she's a Black woman. She's just saying the effects will be devastating for poor women, women from the Black community, Hispanic community, Texas, Oklahoma, all of these states. What option do these women have? And you're absolutely right. In many senses, it's a class issue as well as a race issue, because if you have the means to travel, then you'll have the access to abortion. You'll go to a state where it's available. If you do not have the means, then what happens to you? You may either go through a pregnancy that you're not prepared to have, or you could potentially start trying to access backstreet abortion facilities, which just put people at risk. We know so many have died in the past, and this is what we're really fearful of.
Right. The potential for what this could escalate to is definitely frightening to think about, Carolyn. You talk about those backstreet or alleyway abortions, but this is really a healthcare issue. And it seems to me very strange that in the U.S., we have a lot of these Trump supporters or people on the radical right saying, no, I don't want to wear a mask. That is my body, my choice. And now it seems they're taking away the right to women's health care, essentially.
You're absolutely correct. I mean, very worrisome, the rise of a right-wing ideology, and whatever the issue may be, whether it's anti-immigrant sentiment or anti-mandate, vaccine mandate, or in the States, we certainly see it around the abortion issue. It's devastating. And for whatever reason, it's an ideological reason, people feel they can make decisions for others. And it's just unconscionable that a country like the United States would allow such a situation to exist where, frankly, putting people's lives and health at risk. And it may seem a long time ago, but I remember in the early 1990s, even in this country, when there was the abortion struggle was going on, a young woman, Yvonne Urwitz, was in the Parkdale High Park area, and she thought there was no access to abortion because of all the fight going on around it, and she self-induced and bled to death.
Oh.
And that was a young student in Parkdale High Park, in a middle-class area of Toronto. And so these things are real. I mean, people think maybe you're exaggerating. We're not exaggerating. And we see it around the world. We'll see it again in the United States. And this is what's really concerning to us.
All right, Carolyn, listen, thanks for the reality check and letting us know what the potential repercussions are on this. Carolyn Egan is the spokesperson for the Ontario Coalition for Abortion Clinics. Appreciate the time this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Bye then.